Welcome to Homefront. Homefront is a program where we talk about issues people battle with in their homes. We talk about issues from parenting to family related issues to marriages and so much more, relationships, so much more. Today we'll be talking about the effect of religion in choosing a life partner. And I have with me a very, 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 very outstanding person. She's a lawyer, even though she's not practicing. She runs a ministry, she runs an NGO, and she's the author of so many books, one of which I have read. I am Moyolania, and my guest today is Hephziba Francis.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Don't be shy. Okay, so let me start by asking, do you think religion actually plays a role in choosing a partner?
Wow, it does. You think to how, on the general front, religion causes a whole lot of wars. There's a Muslim deal, there's a Christian deal, there's Buddhism, there's Hinduism. And generally, just between two persons who do not even have an intimate relationship, there's some clashes because of the differences in what they believe.
Okay.
Because it controls us, And then you bring it down to the home. These two persons are literally going to be living
For the rest of their lives.
for the rest of their lives, and they are controlled by different belief system. With something as important as your religion. Definitely, it matters. It does.
Okay. I know for Christians, one of the things people tell singles is be not unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Don't be this. So I want to ask, what does it mean to be unequally yoked?
Recently, someone came at me on Facebook. Someone had asked a question from a lady who said, she had this very nice guy, amazing guy who was asking her out. Always encourages her to go for her dreams, etc, etc. The only deal was that the guy was an unbeliever, and she was asking what should she do, and I replied and I commented, of course that was out of the question. And someone came at my life. She was just like, you people, you Christians, of course, that's the scripture that you use to preach. You don't be equally yoked, don't be this, don't be that. She was like, when Paul wrote that scripture, he was referring to a marriage. Now, I'd concur a little bit that, that scripture might not be referring to marriage, focusing on marriage. But when God speaks about a marriage, he speaks of it in the light of two people being yoked to do a work. A yoke, in the Jewish community, farmers, the yoke one animal with another animal so they can plow the field or do a work on the field. For those animals to work together, they have to be in tandem. They have to be in tandem. And an unbeliever and a believer cannot be in tandem together. It's not possible. It's not.
Well, I've heard cases where different people, a believer and unbeliever, they come together, and some of them it works for them.
It depends on what you're looking at. Are you looking at the fact that, on the surface, this person loves me? Of which, some persons say yes, an unbeliever loves, and that's correct. But if you look at what Christ said in Ephesians chapter 5, he said, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church. So Jesus's pattern for a husband loving the wife is as he loves the church. How can a man love you as Christ loves the church when he doesn't even know you? Jesus doesn't look at love as, he loves me, he's tender with me, he's caring with me. If you go down that scripture, he then says, what is this love? He says, just as Christ loved the church and died for her. Why? He said to make her holy and clean, to sanctify her. That's the reason why he died. Washing her with the water of the word. Can an unbeliever husband wash you with the water of the word? He can't.
Okay, let's hold it there and we'll go on a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. It's still Homefront. You're welcome back. It's still Homefront. We're talking about choosing a partner, the effect of religion in choosing a partner. And I have with me Hephziba Francis. She hasn't gone. Okay, so I want to ask, in what way do you think parents can actually help their children to align in the right path when choosing a partner?
I'd say first of all that it's easier when your parents hear God, because again we're all ruled by different things. If your parents are ruled by culture, if your parents are ruled by tribe, if your parents are ruled by village, because I heard even within some states, some villages are no-go areas, then you have a problem. But if your parents are really ruled by the voice of God, then you should listen to them. And sometimes, sometimes your parents may not even be as spiritual as you think, that they should be. But something used to happen to my mom, and still does. If anything is going on with us, she just knows. Her antenna is like raised to power 100, when it comes to her children. So if you have that kind of parents, who's sensitive and you can trust their judgment, and then add to that, there are Christians who hear God, then if they say, just hold back for a bit and let's be sure about this, then you should listen. But if the opinion is not a tribal opinion, then honor them, but obey God.
Okay, let's putting parents aside. I mean, I was somewhere like 2 weeks ago, and the lady was a house help in that house, and then the guy was a driver in that house, and then they said they wanted to get married, and then the family, the family they were under were like, no, you cannot do this. No, it's not gonna happen. Eventually, they both left the family, and today they are married with 2 kids, and the husband is doing quite well. From what I heard, he has a house that he has built and he has a car that is renting. Now, apart from your parents, your biological parents, there are also people that you actually look up to and say, okay, these people, I place them in a high pedestal. They should be able to. They should be able to speak, and I hear what they have to say. Now, what happens in cases where people like that seem to be against what you think is right, especially when it comes to choosing a partner?
Again, you need to check for yourself, first of all. The blessing of spiritual parents are needed, you know. The Bible says God will confirm his word in the mouth of two or three witnesses. They can be witnesses to the fact that God is doing this. But then again, they are not the authority. God is. So in the days in which we live right now, in the Old Testament, when you need to hear from God, David will say, bring me the ephod and let me inquire of the Lord. But now we have the Holy Spirit instead of us. So even if a prophecy is coming to a New Testament believer, it's not a prophecy that is telling you, it's a prophecy that is witnessing with what God has already told you. So you need to check. It goes back to you. Do you hear God for yourself? Does God speak to you? Do you communicate with him? Do you have that kind of relationship with him? That's the all and all of how you can sift through what spiritual authority even tell you.
Okay, lastly, because we don't have time anymore, what are the key factors to actually look out when choosing a partner? Maybe 1 or 2, 3 key factors that you can quickly tell us.
Okay. First of all, the generic term believer does not mean believer, everybody believer. Some people just wear Christian tags. So even when somebody says I'm a Christian, or when somebody says I'm a believer, the Bible says by their fruits you shall know them. So check out for the fruits. And fruits is not gifts. The gift of the Spirit is different from the fruit of the Spirit. somebody can, God can use them and do a lot of miracles. They beat their wife and stab their wife at home. Kenneth Hagin says in Brother Milliakon, when he was describing this, he said God can even raise stones to do his work. So really, but you need to check for the fruits. Secondly, vision. Going back to our analogy of the yoke, one yoke who sees something different from the other cannot be going to the same direction. So you need to check that out.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's all we can take. Our time is fast spent. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. It has been a very enlightening one. Thank you so much, our viewers. That has been Homefront's Effects of Religion in Choosing a Partner. Join us again next time. I am Muyo Laniya.